So, I finally finished playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, at least the main story. And before I start with the review, I'm going to tell you my history with the original version of Resident Evil 4. Well, I have been playing Resident Evil since forever, I'm a fan of this video game franchise. So, when I heard they were going to remake this masterful remake, I was super excited. And you know what, guys? This is now my definitive version of Resident Evil 4. It improves everything. The gameplay is improved. The story is also incredibly improved. The characters are also improved. So, I'm going to break down every aspect of this video game. First, let's start with the gameplay. With the gameplay, I'm going to start with the atmosphere. The first time you walk to the village, to the first house, you can really feel the tone this game is going for right at the beginning. The village house and the horrorous atmosphere is really apparent here. And I really like that. And also, speaking of the atmosphere changes in every chapter. The village was dark and moody and scary, and the army was also action-packed. So there is a lot of tones spread into this video game, 3 main tones, and I really like all of them. They all work perfectly in the same game. And the second part, what I'm going to talk about, the gameplay, is how good Leon plays into this video game. He can now parry almost everything with his knife. He can now parry chainsaws, he can now parry knives and every attacks. Almost every attacks. Even he can now parry bullets if you press it in the perfect timing. But also, with parrying a lot of things, you can now reduce the health bar of the knife now. So you have to calculate the health bar of your knife perfectly. You gotta use it in the perfect timing, and you cannot use it every time. If it's broken, you gotta fix it to the merchant. Now, Leon can also do some cool moves. Some taken from the PS2 version, the original version. Some is even new moves. My favorite moves in this video game that Leon can do is, of course, the roundhouse kick. It is so impactful, and it feels good to control Leon in this game. And with the gameplay, I'm going to talk about how good the gun feels. The guns feel real in this game. And, this game is very action-packed. Most action-oriented Resident Evil video games. And you gotta really feel that desperation when you come into the cabin fight with Louise. It is so hard. Enemy AI is smart, and you can calculate every attacks they're going to launch at you. They can launch different attacks. They can launch new attacks that wasn't even there in the original, and I really liked that. And I played it on hardcore, and with the cabin fight, you can really feel how strong they are, how fast they are, how smart the AI is in these enemies. And also, while I'm talking about the cabin fight with Louise, I'm going to talk about Louise now. Louise is much more expanded in this version of the game. He has a much bigger role in the story here. You understand his motivation, you understand his stories through files and pictures and everything, and it really complements the narrative here. He also, helps you with 2 boss battles, with the 2 Giganti and the cabin fight and cleaning up the mine. It really helps helps you to feel how this man is integral to the story. Not like the PS2 version where he was just killed and nothing happens after that. And I'm going to talk about Ashley now. Ashley here is much more helpful, not like in the PS2 version where she was just helpless and you gotta, as Leon, you gotta protect her or something like that. In here, she can now spread around the battlefield or follow up close to you. So you have two commands for her. The first one is to spread out around the battlefield, avoiding her to get surrounded by enemies, captured by them. And the second one is for her to follow you. And it really helps, even though sometimes the situation was super unavoidable. But at least with two commands, you can organize her more, organize her movement or something like that. And I really like what they've done with these characters here. They really give him a spotlight. Like Luis, his spotlight was in the mine chapter, where Leon and Luis has to clear up this amount of enemies to fight and to save Ashley. With this, I'm going to jump around with Krauser. Krauser is now the one who kills Luis in the game, and you feel that emotional impact that hit Leon when that moment happens. You as a player also can experience that emotional scene when he's killed with Krauser, and you now have a good reason to kill Krauser. And the boss battles here are well improved. Like the two gigantes, they were hard to defeat. And even the fish boss here, the fish boss in this remake wasn't really that engaging for me because they deleted all of the QTEs in this video game. And I'm fine with that, exactly. But with the El Gigante and the fish boss requires a lot of QTEs in the original. And with all of them deleted from this new remake, I feel like the fish boss wasn't really that important. Also, wasn't really that engaging for you to play. If you're just throwing harpoons at him without no QTE at all, and there's no suspense in that fight at all. But beside all that, I think the boss battle works really good here, and you have to find some new ways to defeat some of them because they are not easy to defeat with the same strategy over and over and over again. Now, let's jump back to the characters a little bit. The characters. I'm going to talk about Sadler. Sadler here, he was not in the game for so long. He's just there for the final confrontation with Leon, and it doesn't really feel that effective to me. I guess they know what they're doing with Sadler, but what they're doing was wrong, you know. They should include him more in the video game because, you know, it wasn't so impactful as a villain. He wasn't so menacing as he was in the PlayStation 2 version, and I'm really disappointed with that. But with Mendes, I think the idea of making him a religious freak was a really good one because, you know, with Mendes, he's much more religious figure here, and it really suits him well, you know. He's just there to kill you, to hunt you, and get Ashley to Lord Sadler. And he talks a lot about retribution, soul cleansing. I get that why he's doing that. He's more menacing in this remake version, and I really like that. Now, the story. The story was pretty much the same, but there are some key changes around in the story that make the story more impactful, and it really makes you understand that this game was made for old players who can still enjoy this game because there are a lot of things new, and with the new players come in to experience the story, it really feels like a satisfying video game overall. Like in the gameplay, it was satisfying. The gunplay here is satisfying. The story for newcomers, it's really challenging and intriguing because the story structure is better here, because this game is kind of long game and I really like that. Not like in the Resident Evil 3 remake when the game was super short. Not the case in this remake. And with a lot of these improvements, I can confidently say this video game was made for new players and old players. And with old players, you still have to experience this new experience because there are a lot of things new in this game and you will not be disappointed. If you like Resident Evil, definitely play this one and finish it, because this is by far the best remake. And I can confidently say that I prefer this version than the PS2 version. I know that sounds kind of mean, but it is the truth, guys. This is a game with a lot of same structures, but also modernized gameplay, modernized graphics, and the atmosphere works better here with the better graphics and the better system. With that, I can confidently say I will give Resident Evil 4 Remake an easy 10 out of 10. If you like Resident Evil or horror games, definitely play this one. You're not going to be disappointed. And I really like this. So, that wraps up my review, guys. 10 out of 10. This is an easy one. And thank you for watching. See you on the next video.